Caitlin Clark liked this post by Taylor Swift, an endorsement of Kamala Harris that came after the presidential debate. Why do I bring it up? Because I don't think anybody cares. I don't think it's an issue. I don't think Caitlin Clark fans are mad, wherever their political leanings may be. Why do I say that? Because I think the talk around Caitlin Clark has become much more hijacked by those things with outside actors or carnival barkers or people who are really trying to sly hate on Caitlin. Because I've said it from the beginning, and I mean this with all my heart. Caitlin Clark's popularity is rooted in basketball. I don't care what anybody says. I've seen it. I am it. I followed her because of basketball. I'm excited about what she does because of basketball. And I see the same from basketball fans. It's why the basketball games are what is rating. The basketball attendance is what is selling ticket-wise. The other stuff is a lot of noise. Now, with that said, of course, any hate, racism, misogyny should be rejected. Of course, that's obvious. But Caitlin Clark has already done that. She's already said that her name should not be used to perpetuate such nonsense. She's already done it. She can't control what people online say. She can't control online trolls. What she can control, she's been exemplary at, both on the court and the way she's conducted herself off of it. So when, this latest WNBA controversy has come up, Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner, was on television and was asked about the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark rivalry. And basically, the person who asked her the question had said there can be some, dark undertones in the online discourse. And Engelbert sort of dodged that part of the question and basically said, ignore all that. We're making a lot of money, which led to some backlash and led to even the executive director of the WNBA Players Association releasing a statement. It also led to Breanna Stewart speaking out about it, one of the most high-profile players in the league.
To be honest, I saw the interview today, and then have been in talks with Terry at the WBPA. I think that it's kind of disappointing to hear because the way that the fans have surged, and especially behind Caitlin and Angel coming to this league, but also bringing like a race aspect to a different level. And there's no place for that in our sport, and I think that's really it. Is we want our sport to be inclusive for race, gender, and really a place where people can be themselves. So we wish, obviously, Kathy would use her platform in a different way and have made that a little bit better. But kind of just telling the fans, like, enough is enough. Become a fan of our sport, and for the new ones, like, lock in on everybody, but don't be disrespectful, because as a league, like, we stick together, and there's no place for that.
I mean, I can't disagree with anything Breanna Stewart said there, right? Like, how could anyone disagree? You could say the same thing about Engelbert that I said about Clark. There's nothing she can do about it. Part of that is that comes with the territory of just more and more people coming under the tent and more people trying to capitalize on those more and more people coming under the tent. But as the commissioner, it would have been easy enough to say, I fully rebuke any hateful, racist, misogynist statements, and our players shouldn't have to deal with that. Like, that's easy enough, and everybody probably could have moved on from that aspect of it. Instead, it has become a whole thing. But the thing about it is, it shouldn't be placed at Caitlin's feet. That's just not fair. So it was nice to see Elle Duncan, actually, ESPN mainstream outlet, speak about this issue. And
cover college women's basketball. I think she is great. And I think that it is not her responsibility. Some people say things like, well, I wish that she would do more to calm a small group of her fans from being so nasty. I don't think that's her responsibility. It's not her responsibility to check.
If you don't give it air, right? If you
Yeah.
don't, if you,
And it's not, well, it's not her responsibility to carry. She already carries the weight of
True.
the league and her team and her endorsements and her family and all of this pressure already. It's not on her to be burdened by social media clowns. So I don't think it's on her to do.
So that was nice to see from Elle Duncan, a voice who has influence in the space, obviously, and it's just common sense. But again, Clark already did it. You know, you want her to just go and repeat it? Because if it was so effective, it didn't work. It would have already stopped. She told James Boyd of The Athletic this.
Hey, well, I know you mentioned that, you want to focus straight on basketball. Definitely respect that. But when, just to ask you directly, when people use your name for racism, misogyny, whatever, what is your response to that specifically?
Yeah, I think it's disappointing. I think, everybody in our world, deserves the same amount of respect. The women on our league deserve the same amount of respect. So people should not be using my name to push those agendas. It's disappointing. It's not acceptable. But yeah, I mean, this league is the league I grew up admiring and wanting to be a part of. Like, some of the women in this league were my biggest idols and role models growing up and helped me want to achieve this moment right here that I get to play in every single night. So just treating every single woman in this league with the same amount of respect, I think is just a basic human thing that everybody should do. Like, just be a kind person and treat them, how you would want to be treated. And I think it's, very simple.
It doesn't get more clear than that. It doesn't get more clear than that. And she has handled herself with grace at every turn. She's complimented her peers at every turn. She just did about Asia Wilson. She just did after Angel Reese got injured. She did on Saturday Night Live in front of everybody. Thank the Pioneers. She hasn't clapped back at Cheryl Swoops. Like, what more do you want while excelling on the court? And it does feel to me at this point like every time she does something great or beats the opponents on the court, this nonsense starts up. Because there is no other way to hate on her play. Like, you can't do it anymore. Right? Like, we've seen the league's too physical. She's not going to be able to adjust to the turnovers, to her teammates are better, to now, like, she needs screens to get open. And this sort of stuff rears its head all the time. And that doesn't make what anybody says online okay. But it also is asking too much of her to do something that is outside of the realm of possibility. When she's done everything within her power to keep the focus on basketball and make sure that everybody gets their props. So, the conversation, specifically as it pertains to her, has gotten tired.